Issue 0 presents to readers an understanding of who the Watcher is and what his place in the Marvel Universe is. The Watcher's role is to observe Earth and chronicle important time periods in the Marvel Universe. He doesn't interfere with Earth's trajectory in any way. Issue 0 follows Sam Alexander, aka Nova, who attempts to figure out the Watcher's role and seeks to ask the Watcher a question about his father. The main story begins with the Watcher on the moon. The Watcher is then suddenly attacked by an unknown attackers. Elsewhere, the Avengers and Nick Fury are eating at a local diner for steak night. However, they are called to the moon by Thor, who has found the Watcher dead. Meanwhile, Black Panther is asked by a mysterious person to uncover a string of murders. A team is assembled to assist Black Panther. Ant-Man, Doctor Strange, Punisher, Moon Knight, Gamora, and Winter Soldier, along with Emma Frost, are all called. Nick Fury and Captain America uncover a green bullet connected to Banner, whilst elsewhere the Thing and Spider-Man defeat a mindless one, who has begun to change due to the events on the moon. Black Panther's team splits into three. Doctor Strange and Punisher go to another dimension. Another group head to the moon, and another heads to the center of the Earth. In an undisclosed location, a group of villains hold the Watcher's eye. The Avengers chase down a mindless one and manage to capture it, as Iron Man and Bruce Banner attempt to investigate the footage from the moon. Punisher and Doctor Strange uncover another gamma bullet from a dimensional creature. The Avengers manage to trace their finds to Dr. Midas, Exterminatrix, and the Orb. Orb, however, manages to open the Watcher's eye. The Watcher's eye exposes everyone in the Marvel Universe to their secrets. The Orb is then arrested by Nick Fury. As the scattered teams attempt to investigate the Watcher's death, Winter Soldier figures out who's behind everything and leaves his team. Nick Fury ponders on why he hasn't seen his sins until Winter Soldier arrives and murders Nick Fury. The three teams who have been working for the mysterious person converge on a satellite where they discover who they have been working for. The reveal is that they have in fact been working for Nick Fury, but an older version. Nick Fury recounts his days as a Howling Commando, where he met several invading aliens, only to be saved by a mysterious man. Howard Stark reveals that the man protected the wall, an assignment that protected the Earth from aliens and other forces. Nick Fury took over and is now the man on the wall. Elsewhere, Midas and his daughter board a ship and fly towards the moon. The Avengers trace the LMD signal to the satellite, as Nick Fury reveals he is dying, and that soon someone will have to replace him. Black Panther demands to know who killed the Watcher, starting a fight. Old Nick Fury then suits up and fights the Avengers, who struggle to work out what's going on. Fury's team is attacked by the Orb and flashes back. Fury is attacked by the Orb and flashes back to him attacking the Watcher. Nick Fury defeats the Avengers. Nick Fury flashbacks to him arriving on the moon after the Watcher is attacked. Did Nick Fury kill the Watcher? And will the Avengers manage to stop Nick Fury? Original Sin was an okay event. I think the event could have been a lot better. And I think more interesting stories came out of the tie-ins than the actual event itself. And I think that's because in the event, you see more of the sins of the characters, whilst in issue 0 to 8, it focuses on like the main story, with the Watcher's death. Going into this event, I thought the event was going to be a cosmic story, where we'd learn either the original sin of the Marvel Universe, or we'd learn the Watcher's original sin, and that was the reason why he was killed. That does not happen in this story at all, unfortunately. I think the story just ended up being a okay story. One of the things I did like, though, was I did really like the artwork. The artwork really reflected on the story that that was being told. And I think the artwork in this book was very, very good. It's sort of this dark artwork, and sort of it reflects the story being told, which I really, really liked. What I really, really liked about this story, and certainly in issue 0, was the fact that we got the Watcher's role in the Marvel Universe. The Watcher's role is to watch the Earth and record everything that happens. I think what I enjoyed was, because I'm a new reader coming into the Marvel Universe, I liked the fact that in issue 0, we got a good feel of who the Watcher was, and what his role within the Marvel Universe was. And what we learn is that the Watcher is trying to find an event from his past regarding his father, and or at least I thought it was his father, and he's trying to find like an event where something that happened in the Watcher's past became different. Also, what I really liked about the comic was how the Watcher and old Nick Fury sort of paralleled against one another. Basically, Old Man Nick Fury is the original Nick Fury, who has been aging rapidly since losing the Infinity Serum. And old Nick Fury, as we learn, when Nick Fury was younger, he saw a superhero, kind of. And this man, or this superhero, sort of inspired Nick Fury to become the Man on the Wall. And the Man on the Wall is basically a person who protects the Earth from threats, either from other dimensions or from space. And it kind of reminds me of the Game of Thrones wall, And I'm wondering if the writers sort of incorporated the wall in just for the Game of Thrones references. And what the sort of paralleling theme between old Nick Fury and the Watcher, as we learn, is that Nick Fury acts. And because he acts, he might actually be destructive. Whilst the Watcher, because he observes, although he doesn't act, he allows people to make their own destiny. And rather that Nick Fury controls destiny, the Watcher allows other people to create their own destiny. The villains were bland. I think the Orb, Dr. Midas, and Exterminatrix, I think. Those three the main villains were not very interesting at all. And I don't think it mattered that they were there. And it's to my understanding that these characters are Z-list characters. They're not a very important part of the story, really. And they're not very important characters in general. Honestly, I think the story was way more complicated than it needed to be, which is why I liked the fact that Nick Fury was not a complicated character. Because the story kind of got a bit confusing at times. Some bits kind of didn't make sense, or some bits weren't followed through. Like, the whole point of this comic was supposed to be about the Watcher and his death. We kind of got that, but it became more of a Nick Fury story than it did a Watcher story. And I didn't really like that. I also thought the story in the middle of the comic, of the volume, lagged. We spent like 4 issues trying to get our characters to a point where they were figuring stuff out. And even then, we still didn't know what was going on. And whilst it was interesting, I think the entire story could have been a lot better. And I do sort of feel like a lot of this stuff was just building towards what's going to be happening in the fall and into the future of the Marvel Universe. And I will give the book some credit. I do think now we're able to see maybe a few changes to some of our favourite characters. I think we'll see some very interesting characters as well. So all in all, I think I would give this about a 3 out of 5. It's a good setup to what's to come. There are some very interesting themes, and I also liked some parts about this book. However, I think there's a bit too many problems with the book. So I'm Robinax1 here, and do stay tuned, because for the next few months I'll be doing a lot of Batman stories. Stay tuned for that. And thank you to all my subscribers. You guys are very awesome. And I will see you all later for another comic book review. Bye.